Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Barbershop Talk, and we are having it on jealousy. And good to have you here, Brother Lawrence. How are you doing this afternoon?
Shalom to everybody here and in the chat, and thank you for stopping by. As always, Eisen, thank you for having me.
Oh, no
Um,
problem.
I'm doing okay. A little busy, but I'm doing okay.
I got you. I'm busy too, so I know this is gonna be a a shorter barbershop talk here. But I'm always glad to have these. Um, so I guess let's start off by so what did you think about the part two, I guess, of this
Um,
continued discussion or
well,
subject?
excuse me. I'm sorry. Well, as
Excuse.
far as the subject's concerned, it's just the same thing I said last week. You are right. This is something you have to break up in pieces over time because it's
Yes.
it's 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 that deep and it's that detailed. Um, as far as it goes for the necessity of it, oh, it's absolutely necessary. Especially for our people of all.
Yeah.
Um, uh, as far as it goes for your earlier broadcast on the subject itself, personally, I think you nailed it. I can't find an argument with any of the interpretation you had with it. I mean, to me, it was solid. Because you know me, I'll ask a question or I'll say, well, what about this angle? But I got none this time. I really don't. I mean, I'm being honest. I don't.
I know you are. I know
I think
you are.
I think you nailed it solid with this one. I can't see any other interpretation. Unless someone who's listening in the background or in the chat's got something. But I agree with it wholeheartedly. I can't make an argument against it.
Got you. Yeah, and thank you. I'm glad. I tried to, and I try to, have the initial study, that way to make everything shorter and trying to change something, increase the algorithm because a lot of people just want to catch little short snippets.
Right.
But so I try and do that. But with this one, boy, it is his story is so deep. Is so much content in it. That you have to break it up into segments. I knew it was going to be several. I wasn't sure exactly how many. I'm still not sure how many.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking it, pretty much day by day on how I handle it, and but it's got a lot of meat in here.
Hmm.
And like I said, I wanted this channel to be all about um, the logic within these stories and within these concepts that you can apply to your life to make the decisions that we make every day better. And There's so much in his story here that can be used and can be applied to our everyday lives. And just this story here with, continuing on from last week where his brother sold him into slavery
Hmm.
and he was taken into Egypt and then bought by Potiphar, who was an officer of Pharaoh, and how God was with him the whole time, and how even though he was a slave, he still prospered, and God made sure that everything he touched prospered. And Potiphar, who had been watching him, noticed this. He was aware and analyzed how everything that Joseph done and touched, it prospered, and how it succeeded. So he gave Joseph more control and more power and more rank within his household than what normally would have been given to a slave or someone of his status, because he's seen how it would be beneficial to him and his home to have such a person touching more and influencing more in his home for everything to be prosperous and everything be good, and it was.
Hmm.
Lo and behold, until jealousy came into the picture.
Yeah. I would agree. And and it's funny because while you were explaining that, I had a thought to myself.
Okay.
Where Joseph's concerned, being a slave and all that good stuff, and
Yeah.
how he was able to move up and be of some significance or importance to his master and all that good stuff. Here, here's a thought that just ran through my head. It shows that you don't have to be on top to be important either.
Exactly.
You
That's
know what I
it.
mean? You don't have to be part of the 1% to matter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if
Right.
you do what you're supposed to, and you follow the rules and the laws and the tenets, at least how it should be anyway, is that you can still have purpose regardless of what position or title or location you're in.
Exactly.
You know. So it just popped in my head just now.
Yes, I mean, as individuals, that's the best thing that we can do is to feel our actual purpose to the best of our ability, no matter what it is, no matter what the status is look like on it. Whether it's it's a status or a height or a title that you desire or don't. It was great to see that every position, every title matters.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, it's one of those situations where you know, nobody wants to be at the bottom, but
Right.
at the same time, everybody can't be at the top either.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so wherever you land in the scheme of things, you should do it to the best of your ability and your skill set. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still be working to achieve greater than that, of course,
Right.
but you still have to understand that there's a process you have to go through.
Right. Right.
Which is why I was saying earlier about how this whole story with Joseph covers so many different dimensions, or from uh, relations with parents to relations with brothers to relations with your boss or employer or master or whatever you want to call it. Um, and this is something that for our people was lost.
Mhm.
I would say after mid 60s. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had idiots longer than that, but I'm saying such a massive amount as a people. I think we started losing it probably after the mid 60s and just started buying in propaganda. But but in the jealousy perspective, this is something that we have to get out of. I mean, we can talk about women, we can talk about Pookie, Ray Ray, all that good stuff. But above and beyond everything, in my mind, we got to get past the jealousy. I think that plays a bigger part to all the other stuff, or rather, it's part of all the other stuff as well that leads to a
Right.
lot of the stuff we have. Not everything, but a good amount.
Right.
Because a brother should never hate another brother just because he's got more.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
Well,
because the way my grandfather taught me is that the way it's supposed to work is that if you got a brother who's got more than you don't get mad at him. You go ask him how he did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the way my grandfather taught me.
Right. Right.
In that respect. And I'm sorry, MOT, how you doing?
Yeah.
that's
Salute
fine.
MOT. Thanks for coming on.
My grandfather actually taught me to deal with jealousy another way. Like you need more jealousy in
Mm-hmm.
order to be able to separate the doers from the claimers.
True. I can see
Because
that.
the way he explained jealousy was wanting or having the perception of wanting to be, what was the term he used? The perception of wanting to be non-qualified earnmanship. And
Okay.
how he explained it was how people wanted the improper reward system to work
Mm.
for them the way it's working, that their perception of how it thinks it works for somebody else.
Right.
Like
Gotcha.
a decathlete is not celebrated as much as a skier, for instance, on
Mm-hmm.
TV. Even though he does those skills and he has to place very high within all of those in order to be a winner at that. It's just that you got to want to be able to, or you have to start off with knowing what a proper reward system is, so that way you don't fall into the jealousy trap. Because the jealousy trap is super easy.
Yes.
Oh, it is. Yes, it is. It is
Very
very
easy.
much so.
Very easy.
I mean,
Very easy.
I mean, I can't lie. I've had my moments. Yeah.
So basically, it sounds like to me is that what your grandfather basically taught to you was the thumbnail I had for last week, which was jealousy is a good indication that you're doing things the right way. People never get jealous of losers.
No, not at all.
No,
Yep.
okay, it's different. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Nobody wants to lose a spot.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody does.
So so just thinking it through, then I think the most effective way to deal with it would be maybe a combination of what your grandfather taught you, MOT, and what my grandfather taught me.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, because as we go on, there's going to be more and more people who want to be rewarded kind of improperly, and that's it. That's the thing.
Well, we've always had that anyway. Everybody wants something for nothing kind of situation.
Exactly.
You just want to wake up one morning, a new company's built, and you just want to be the CEO, and it doesn't work that way. So, um, so yeah, yeah. But that's it sounds strange coming from me after all the things I've said over the last couple of months, but I'm more concerned about. Well, actually, no, it doesn't sound strange because I always say men first. Um, I think where the jealousy is concerned, as far as it goes for men, I'm not thinking about women at all right now, but just as men, that's I think that's the biggest hurdle we have to get over. In addition to Pookie and Ray Ray, of course, but I think that's the biggest hurdle. As a people, as men, because with jealousy being what it is, man, we that with it being the way it is, that's why we talk about separation all the time. You know what I mean? It's just bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just at the end of the day, man. Like, this is why you have, unfortunately, niggas talking about politics a week before the election
Yeah.
because their idea and what I'm going to make later on tonight, which I'm finally going to do the manosphere thing tonight. It's just that they want to be in improper places discussing things of relevance. Because if the proper people got in control, they're completely right. We're going to shut them out. We're going to make sure that they never have any sort of relevance again, ever. So
Yep.
they're not wrong about that. But the problem is they're making it easier to figure out and find out, for the most part, who is actually serious about this system of going forward. Like me, my grandfather said, look, it's best for our numbers to go to the Koreans than our numbers to rise to the level of white people without principle.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He is not wrong on that.
Wow.
He is not wrong on that. That's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. That's damn solid.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Go
it's
ahead.
funny. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just speaking to what you were saying, MOT. It's interesting because I remember in the '80s. I can't remember where it was, but I remember Shahrazad Ali giving a speech that was somewhat similar to that, as far as it goes for associating ourselves and trying to build in a manner of of of, of white people and their principles. When we've already established they can't get along with anybody, as she said, we try to emulate people and build a society and so on and so forth, in a way that makes no sense. When they've got a history of not getting along with anybody on the planet, why would we want to replicate that? And then she started breaking it down in sections about how, a woman with children who's white is a single mother. With us, they're a bastard. It's just, it was interesting. It was interesting.
Wow.
That's why when you said that piece about your grandfather, it hit me the way it did. Because I remember her in the '80s doing that.
Because the problem, even a bigger problem is, which is a type of feminine way of thinking, is the idea that being surrounded by better people is going to help them practice principle. And I think that is absolutely nonsense. Principle is a personal thing. It's reinforced by the group, but it's reinforced by a group of people who practice that principle and not anything above that. So people are waiting actually for everybody to hide their failures percentage wise. So that way they can appear overall like they have principle without actually practicing said principle.
No, agreed. Because that's one of the arguments I used to have with my professor. in the class, because I mean, we go back and forth all day between the concept of ethics and morality. And for some reason, she seemed to think the two were the same. And I'm like, I don't know how you're a professor if you think that, because they're not. They're not even remotely close. So, you know, but that's how it is.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but because how can you be so worried about people who's not practicing a proper path? How worried can you be about those people to the point to where they're going to take individual actions on their own stead? How
Mm.
much worry can you demonstrate that's going to make them take those actions? I don't think you can. I think the less you worry about them, the less you surround them with people of their kind, the less you don't rescue them, the better result that you have. I'm not really worried about them. It's like, look, I come here. Uh, Not very many people watch, but not very many people can argue with my results of what I practice because I am what I practice. I'm the end result of what I practice.
Mhm.
Right.
But you have people who will come to me and say that I'm emptily like I'm a hater. I'm like, what it is that you think I'm a hater? Criticism. You have to qualify it. It's not my job to help you qualify your criticism against me. It's your criticism. You have to own what you say. No, it's not my
Mm.
job to help you out with your criticism.
Well, well, that's another one of the biggest problems with jealousy: the inability to understand when you're wrong.
Yes.
Because and I've said this on many times on many extremes. At the end of the day, you know, as a man, you have to be able to accept when you're wrong. You have to. You cannot turn a 10-minute conversation into a 4-hour debate.
Or
When
a 2 year or 5 year conversation about progress.
exactly, and that's one of the biggest. That's another one of the big problems that we have in our quote unquote community among men: the inability to admit when you're wrong. I've I've never had that problem. As Eisen will tell you himself, but I've never had that problem, and I don't think any man should have that problem. I think there's something powerful in being to acknowledge your weaknesses and where you're incorrect in your thinking and adjust accordingly. That's strength to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
and here's another thing. If I'm so wrong, how come there hasn't been a properly demonstrated process to prove that I'm wrong? That's another thing that comes with being wrong. It's the understanding that there is another way. And
Yeah,
it's just not hanging there as is you just wrong just to be wrong. Like there's a why to it. And a lot of people think that withholding the why gives them power. I'm like, no. Withholding the why means you're weak. You just want to be believed for the sake of being believed. You just don't want to prove your point beyond reasonable doubt. And that's what's happened within actual the black context. People want a family without proving beyond reasonable doubt that they're actually good parents. They just want to be able to nut out a kid and that's it. And now I got somebody to rule over, and I would never allow that to happen in my house. Okay, maybe that's fine. But what does your household? How's your household stack up to other people's household?
hmm
I don't want to be judged by that. I want to be judged by what I do. When I say go, I'm like, all right, okay, all right, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. It makes no To me, it makes no difference, even if it's something personally, even if it's something in personal and internal. There should always be qualifiers for it.
Mhm.
For whatever decision you make, if for no other reason, because you have to come to the realization that whatever decision you do make has to come with consequences and has to come with real actions behind that. But as you said, that's not the case. It's like, you drop a kid and you bounce. And that's one thing I've always had interesting conversations with other men who call themselves fathers. You got people with 4, 5, 6 kids. They call themselves fathers. And when you start to ask them qualifying questions as one father to another, they can't give you answers,
No, I mean,
which only
what
shows that they're not a father. They're just a DNA provider. That's it. You know, and that's why I explain to them as much as I can, dude. You gotta understand, it's not a lot of work. It really isn't. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason the quote is 90% of a father is just showing up. It really is.
Mhm.
I mean, and that's no lie. I mean, speaking for those of us with fathers or father figures or being fathers themselves, that's where most of my successes come from. I'm just there. 90% is just being there. They wake up in the morning, I'm there. They know they need something, they can come to me. I'm there. That's all it is. You don't need to have millions of dollars, man, to make a productive person for society. You just don't.
Mm. Right. Right. And I think the other thing to keep in mind too is that the other people that are just as dangerous as as these other jealous plotters are people that are worried about criticism. They can't take it. I mean, and if you think about it, there's only one way to avoid criticism. It's to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. I mean,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how black community kind of like insulate themselves from actual consequences by doing that.
Yeah,
All three of
yeah,
those things.
yeah, exactly.
I haven't taken the move, so therefore you can't judge any of my previous actions. Yeah, I can't judge your previous actions because silence is an action. They're like, oh man, I didn't know that beforehand. Like, okay.
Right, right,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah. So those people are just as dangerous as the people throwing out the criticism, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, because there's one thing about it, that energy that those criticizers give you, you can actually take that. You can actually take that and use it as fuel for your purpose or whatever it is you got in mind to help you succeed at whatever it may be. But these people right here, they just actually they're comfortable with doing nothing and being nothing. And that essentially that makes them a cancer in itself.
I mean, but
Well,
they're already at their high point of growth already without even trying.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
That's why they're so comfortable.
You're
So
right.
you really can't do anything about
Yeah,
that.
no, you
Right,
can't.
right, exactly. And that's why when it comes to the jealousy thing, why I said earlier, I'm more concerned about the men than I am the women.
Yeah.
Because regardless of how you look at it, men build societies. So we got it. So the men become the priority in setting straight. We got, like I said, we can talk about women all day, every day, but the truth of the matter is to get to the heart, to get to the heart of the matter, it's going to be up to the men, not the women. It always has been. It always will be.
Right, right.
I mean, but you have to understand why they talk about women. Because they solve their own problem by causing other problems that they're not going to have to account for.
Mm,
Well, yeah, it's misery enjoys company. That's all that is.
Correct. It's kind of like, look, you saw this mice problem with a poisonous snake problem, and
Hmm.
now you just walked away from it. Well, you just replace one problem with the next type of problem.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
doesn't make any sense. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they just tell you that you're a hater because you. No, I don't want people to see illicitly making money off bullshit within the environment of progress. That doesn't make me a hater. It make me a realistic person. It got corrupted the military, corrupted the church, corrupted everything that it touches. A lack of principle always does that. A lack of principle does not breed principle at the end of the day. It doesn't,
This
and it never has.
this is true. And and Eisen, if I'm correct, and you can correct me if I'm not,
okay.
if I'm correct, I do believe from a scriptural point of view that when the Most High has a society um, of His people, if one of them do something wrong, they bring that burden across the entire land. Correct?
Yeah, a lot of times it affects more than
The
those.
individual.
Yeah, than the individual. I wouldn't say every single time it's happened, but it does happen quite often.
Yeah, yeah. And that goes to what MOT was saying and the point I was trying to get to. That's why vetting becomes imperative. I mean, if there's anything you do at all in a separation or building something, you got that's probably going to be the most significant thing you got, besides creating policies and procedures. But you got to vet like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, but here's the reason why you can't vet in most environments. You can't vet past a post hoc rationalization that ends up in the person's favor.
Mm,
Like you can only fix that. Like you can vet a place. But if their foundation is so far underground to where you just have to vet what's there and not the foundation, which is what we should start doing, by the way,
Yeah.
you would have a better process and procedures. So the only thing you can vet now is their public track record. You can't really
Mhm.
vet the actual place of which they're raised,
Right.
where they came from, the people who they hung around
Right.
back then versus the person who they're displaying who they is for the past 21 months. You don't know.
Right.
And the only
Yeah.
thing
It's
you
true.
have to do is kind of wait and find out, which is one of the worst things you possibly could do.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. Because while you're waiting, they're undermining everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what they're there to do. Undermine. That like they don't need to destroy. The only dude, you can have three different underminers that can do a hell of a lot more damage than anything else. Undermining is what let that's why being a saboteur is far worse than being an enemy. Because a saboteur knows the leadership model and everything else. True enemies can't even get that close.
Right.
But saboteurs are definitely
That's
that
true.
close.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is true.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
And saboteurs and spies. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That saboteur is very, very deadly because they can get close enough to get in to know all the weaknesses, and that's why usually that's why almost every time the saboteur is someone close to you that is someone that you think actually cares and loves you, but they really don't.
Yeah, they really don't give a damn about that.
Mhm. Yep.
Only thing they give a damn about the fact that how you got things and how they're not going to get it, and that they are close to you. They understand the process, but they don't understand the process of how to take it quickly. And
Yeah.
that's what will make a saboteur show themselves as
Mm,
enemies very quickly. Is because
Yeah.
they they thought they was just going to be able to puncture this hole in this particular pipe right here that's going to cause a chain reaction. But when you have things that actually account for all chain reactions, they can't cause a chain reaction. So the
Yeah.
only thing they can do is have that kind of swan song of like, hee hee ha ha, I was beside you the entire time. It's like, I've already accounted for the fact that there could be people close to me who's not going to be on my path.
mm.
And while I'm sure you enjoyed your stay, however, that didn't solve any of the type of problems that they thought that they was going to solve around.
hmm
That's kind of the issue right there.
Yeah. Well, that's counterintelligence 101 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true. It is.
Like I said, man, I never grown worried about these people. It's just that, like I'm gonna make tonight in the manosphere, that there's no problem with the manosphere. It's just that all the people who never wanted to see black progress came to the manosphere to shut down black progress.
Oh,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely agreed. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that can't be missed. That can't be missed at all. That's absolutely what happened.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, you're not popular. Like, this is not about popularity. Outcomes are not about popularity. There's not a lot of people with not a lot of good outcomes.
Wow.
That does not weigh in with popularity. So when you go to popularity and being heard and being seen as the results of what you're doing, you wasn't always popular in the first place. Right? It doesn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, these are the type of people who you have around, man. And I say, like I said before, there should be more. Because you need to know what these people look like and how they come in.
Yeah.
And I think Male Enlightenment TV is going to be our next individual on the list who's going to turn into one of these Donovan Sharp types. But it's like, look, these
Damn.
people already have their end goal in mind. It's just that you don't know it. You don't.
Oh, damn. Yeah. 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 You have to. The thing is, yeah, you do have to keep looking at the track record of individuals to see what they're really about. I mean, that's the only way to find out. Um, I mean, what they have a habit of doing shows who they really are and what they're really about. I mean, there is no other way to find out but that. Yeah, the thing is, you can't ever stop um, looking at that track record to see what these individuals are about, because you'll find out that these people, they're truly there only to bring you down and keep you from moving ahead.
and they have the same track record that they exhibit, because people only exhibit what they can get away with, even if it's principle.
Mm.
And most people are just going to sit here all day long and do the things that is the easiest thing for them to do. And most of the time, most black people sit around and watch abject nonsense happen on their behalf all the time. And then they say, you know what, since I didn't take an action while nonsense was going on, that means that I'm principled. Yeah, a certain type of principle, but not the principle that we need.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't mix principle with popularity.
No,
Because
what
principle is independent of popularity.
always,
And it
yeah,
always
always
has
has.
been.
Yeah, always. I was going to say that it always has been. I never even understood how we got there. To be honest, well, I do understand how we got there. I just, you know, but no, the two are exclusive for sure. One has nothing to do with the other in any capacity.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
as far as it goes for jealousy, everything we've talked about stems from some level of jealousy in that respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And all this stuff have a process or a lack thereof development, which is also a process. Both of them take place over time, and most people want to get to a place. Like another point that I'm going to make, tonight is that people seem the improper path of reward, and that is what's being sold to people within this environment.
Mm.
mhm.
The improper path of reward.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely.
now, the people who are selling this path are not out here doing this shit. They're not. They're doing it for the comfort of their own homes, offices, or obsessed with the fact of acting like, hey, I'm on camera. That means I'm not full of shit. Like, nope, you are on camera and you are full of shit. Both of them. Together.
Mhm.
So that's where we're at, man. And it's like most people don't want to look at this the way it is, because all the people that they've been following this entire time, like they know what the track record is. It's just that they refuse to look at it because they want to justify the time that they're wasted. And the only way they can justify the time that they wasted is to ignore everything that happened while they wasted their time.
Oh
Mm.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
act like they wasn't around or act like they didn't keep up with the shit. Like, get out of here, man. You know what happened. No one has to remind you of what happened around this piece,
Yeah.
But that's where we're at because they're only going to practice, again, things that is laudable within the environment, like pleading ignorance. A lot of people think that,
Mm.
hey, I could just plead ignorance and none of these things happen and I don't remember. And oh my God, how did that happen? Like, dude, this is why you should be able to see who's ever watching you, no matter whether they say something in the chat or not. So that way you can see.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. 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 That way you can get an idea of the type of individuals they are. And the thing about jealousy also is that it's fed by greed. People wanting more than they reasonably need, than what they reasonably need.
And it's always
Yeah,
reason that's going to be able to tell the difference between the two.
yeah, yeah.
And what you're saying, Eisen, goes right back to one of the Ten Commandments about coveting.
Mm, yeah.
Because I mean, look, I mean, keeping it real. I mean, that's one of the 10 about coveting other stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why certain people want to celebrate the loss via coveting as a legitimate action among men, when we know that's really not a legitimate action to
Right.
anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I agree.
I am to be given a pass because I've done it through coveting. And I'm like, dude, if you really think that people in other societies are just gonna let you do that, that's why you're here. You're here because there ain't no standards.
Yep.
None. There
Yeah.
ain't no standards, and you can get away with stuff because the people here also exhibit non-standard as standard. That's what
Gotcha.
happens.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah. You can get away with that crap in a society that there's no consequences for those actions.
yeah,
But
yeah.
whenever you have a society that holds you to that standard and there's consequences for those actions, yeah, these people they won't last long there.
No, they won't. They won't. They won't. that's the biggest problem for a lot of stuff. Coveting, instead of going to get your own, it's coveting everyone else's.
Yeah, and also too, the lack of understanding the simple fact that these people that have other things, their their knowledge or their understanding about about how to use it is greater than yours. So you have to
Yes.
just accept. I mean, you have to accept that reality. I mean, that's why one of the earliest videos I did was on the illusion of equality. Um, None of us are equal. There are things that individuals are better at than other individuals, and you have to accept that. You have to accept that this is something that you may have to be taught by this individual, or you have to accept that hey, this just may not be for you, and I need to go where what best suits me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the things that I have conversations with many of people. Look, even if I got up tomorrow morning and for no reason that makes any sense whatsoever, just for the sake of argument, I get up one morning and for some insane reason I make Sir Ism the new owner and CEO of my company. It means nothing. It really doesn't. It means he got something he didn't earn, but it doesn't mean he knows what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but
Gotcha.
it's one of those situations. They want, like I said, they want everything without the work of it. But when they get it, what are they going to do with it? Run it to the ground.
Destroy it.
And that's
Destroy
because
it.
that run it to the ground because that's all they know how to do. They don't have the skill set to do what's necessary to keep it running the way I would, you would, MOT would, or new, or whatever. They wouldn't know. And it's interesting because even if I got up tomorrow and instead of Sir Ism, I gave it to you, Eisen, you don't know what to do either, but you've got enough common sense to go find people who do.
Right. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
you
gonna
understand
admit
what I'm
to it.
saying?
Hey, look.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Lawrence is dead. He gave me his company. I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna go find the proper people who
Man,
know how to do this stuff, and I'll pay them accordingly. You leave it to the professionals.
right.
But they don't even have but they don't even have enough common sense to do that. They're just gonna like pull the money out, spend, splurge, yada yada yada, and before you know it, in less than a year, what took me 15, 20 years to build, they destroy it in less than a year because that's exactly how it's gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've seen that throughout history. This is nothing new. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. True. And but the thing is that I would understand and know and can admit to the fact, hey, look, I don't know about this. So I've got to find somebody that does to where I can increase my knowledge on this
Right,
to where
right,
I
right,
don't I already know, hey, look, I'm gonna mess up at first.
right.
But if I can get the type of knowledge and information that can help me minimize those losses until I learn how to operate better, that's going to be in my best interest. But you got people that just foolishly overestimate their own value, worth, and knowledge.
Right, which circles back to what I said 15, 20 minutes ago about being a man and being able to admit when you're wrong and your failings,
Yeah,
and why that's so important to be able to do.
it is. It's very important. Very important.
So it's and that's just the circumstances we're in right now. With the vast majority that we're surrounded by.
Yeah,
I mean, not to be funny, but if this was war, we're surrounded and outnumbered. That's just what it is.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
So,
it's true. It
and then
is
they got
true.
and then they got reserves with their women. So
Wow.
it's a hot mess.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's crazy, But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's it. And I mean, that's why I think I wanted to do this story. I wanted to break down Joseph's story in life because I mean, everything we see in here, it applies to something that we some part of it applies to what we have gone through, what we can go through, and how we can look at it and analyze the information in here and use it and apply it to our everyday lives. That way, we can make the best moves and decisions that we can possibly make.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
Um,
And this is And here's the interesting part: the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Because we haven't even hit the point, and it's coming. Don't get me wrong, coming sooner than people think. But we haven't even hit the part where everything in this country, if not the world, is going to get hell a lot harder.
Mm.
Yeah, it's gonna start January.
Yep. That's where I was with it. First quarter. The worst case scenario, the end of the first quarter, but it's definitely going to be the first quarter.
Hey, you're
Because
gonna know it by June.
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. I mean, in inflation and devaluing the currency,
That's right.
nobody's watching and paying attention to that. I mean, besides myself and MOT and maybe 2 or 3 other people, nobody else is watching that. And when I say watching it, I'm just not talking about this country. I'm talking about around the world.
Right.
Because the fall or even the lessening of bought things in America, which is going to trigger a worldwide panic. And this is why having someone with a default currency who don't have a strong, and we may lose it in the next coming 20 years, the
Yep.
default currency status.
Yep.
But what is going to be certain is that we can't have certain type of people in office who don't care about things going forward.
Exactly.
This is never going to happen again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because China started making runs on the bank almost 6 months ago.
That's right.
Turkey's monetary value has been the monetary system has been devalued by like 20 something percent. Their inflation is up 11, 12. And it's and they were there's a couple of investors here who already started ditching the fiat dollar and trying to devalue that as well. I'm telling you, man, it's coming. Nobody's paying attention. The 53% of all small businesses are gone, and they're not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's paid attention to the way the cost of food has jumped in New York, double digit.
33%. Like
30,
I know what I buy,
Yep.
and it's jumped 33% over a year. Like what I used to buy from Walmart costed about $11.50 every 3 days. Now it's jumped up to $15 every 3 days.
Yep. Nobody's paying attention to what's happening to the commercial real estate market.
Oh yeah. The bottom's about to fall out of that. The bottom is about to fall out of it. Like I'm telling you, every time I go back, I go through those areas, and there's more and more of those places that have the for lease sign up. And it's not just for one building; it's for the whole damn street. And they're still building commercial real estate because it's like building a bank. You build it; it's worth a certain amount of money. You get the value where you get to gather all the value of that, and you get to leverage that. But once they stop people from leveraging commercial real estate the way they used to,
and that's coming because there's been a shortage on wood for building.
Yeah. Wow. And that's why they're clear cutting Mississippi right now, of all places, and Alabama and Arkansas, of all places, where the paper mills are now starting to go out there because there's really no wood nowhere else. Yeah. I mean, like places like Oklahoma, they don't have all that much, but the South is very wooded.
Yeah.
Yep.
And go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. They started dumping properties in Miami, mass exodus leaving. You got California, mass exodus leaving. You got New York, mass exodus leaving. You've got banks cutting off credit and preparing for loan losses. You got Hertz Rent-A-Car filed for bankruptcy. You got IHOP shutting down over 100 stores, and then another 50 for their other name brand. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, man, nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention, and this is going to be worse than
2008.
No, it's going to be worse than 1933. That's what I was about to say.
Dang.
It's going to be worse than that. I'm telling you. You got one of the top airlines. I can't remember the name again. I'm sorry. I got a lot of information in my head jumbled.
It's American.
But okay, they filed for bankruptcy. Yada yada yada. There's been bank runs at Deutsche Bank for the last year. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's about to get live.
Yes, it's about to get live, and
it's bad.
All these people who claim that they didn't want socialism and all this type of stuff. Like I said, once there be a shifting of things in the United States, it's never going to reshift back. Never
That's
going to reshift
yeah,
back.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're gone.
And,
They're not coming back.
and guess what?
The
America is
grand,
going to be better because of it.
yeah,
Because this same cancer, this southern type of conservatism, has been the same cancer that has been slowly destroying this country.
yep.
The economic policies of not really trying to help, while just specifically just only giving stuff to corporate, dude. No one is going to want to hear the next time they do a PPP, which they're gearing up for,
Mm-hmm.
that corporate America is going to come take that. You know
Well,
what?
corporate
Golden
America.
Corral came in and
Yeah.
stole the first one, hired nobody, had no intentions on opening them back up.
Well,
And a lot of companies did that.
yeah, and the big boys are having their own trouble because I mean, there's tech meltdowns at Apple, Facebook, Amazon. They're all
Yeah.
up right. They're all up again for investigation. The Las Vegas Sands has shut down and said they're getting out of the American market. The Grand
Wow.
Hotel, the oldest and most famous hotel in New York, is totally shut down, and they're changing it into a homeless shelter. You know what I'm
Dang.
saying? Most investors are finding out their stocks are worthless, and I mean, I'm talking about reports that were only 3-4 days ago.
Dang.
I'm not saying this like 6 months ago. These are reports that are coming out in the last 3 to 4 days.
Wow.
So yeah, college enrollments plummeted. San Francisco Walgreens are forced to close because people keep raiding it and stealing from it. It's crazy, man. It's about to get live. It's about to get busy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the other thing you look at too, man, you look on the shelves, man, you can't get no ammo nowhere. These folks are buying up guns and ammo like crazy right now. And
Walmart took
that's
a lot of
another
their
thing.
stores.
Exactly. It lets you know it's about to get wild.
Yep. About a day or two ago, Walmart took all their guns out of the store because they were afraid that if anybody decides to raid or get crazy, they can't come in and take the guns and use them. So they removed them from every store.
You
Every
seen that
store.
shit yesterday about what them dudes did in Texas, presidential candidate and all like 300 of those people with guns almost ran their bus off the road. Like they're doing the same shit in Ohio right now. A lot of motherfuckers are like going through the 270 corridor. About 400 or 500 of these Trump motherfuckers. I'm like, man, look, these people are trying to scare the shit out of people for no reason. I'm like, look, man, deploy the National Guard because if they can't handle the outcome of the election, which is not gonna go his way, you got to lock these people up, man, because these people operate like there are no consequences, and they keep doing this shit while telling black people that they have to follow the rules and laws and shit at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But it's always been that way. And to be honest with you, both sides are guilty.
Yeah.
Both sides are guilty. I
Yeah.
mean, I was a Republican for 30 something years, man. And one morning I woke up and looked around and realized I couldn't tell either side from the other. And I was like, okay, let me go change this voter card. And that's honest truth. Both sides.
What's the last one you voted for? Which one the last one you actually was the true Republican for you?
Oh, I can't tell you that because then you'd know who I voted for.
Oh well. All right. Well, okay. And Reagan.
What
Republican?
about?
Good? Bad?
I'm just still going to give the answer.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry. Just when it comes to politics, man, I don't tell people who I vote for in any capacity.
Okay. All right. But
family.
No, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool, man. Don't worry about it. All right. Strike the question from the ledger, sir.
and me, I just, man, I'm more about looking at these policies and see how they can how they I can use them to benefit me.
You don't
I think
need that many, man. Maybe one per lifetime, maybe another one, but not having equal protection under the law and to have this stuff the way it is with really no recourse makes the whole system not work, man.
Yeah. And I think that's been part of that's the problem, especially in the South that I see. You got so many people that the only thing they do is vote party, and it's like, wait, hold on, you don't even know what you're actually voting for. You're just voting for a party, not policies, and you know that's across all ends. You know, you're not looking at what policies hurt you, what policies actually help. What kind of could go either way. Most people they don't even look at those things.
Well, see,
and they don't care when you try to educate them on it either. That's the other thing, man. They get hostile like a motherfucker when you try to educate them on shit.
And that's one of the reasons, and that's one of the reasons why I switched. Because, like I said, my conclusion I finally came to is neither one of them is helping me. I mean, there might be benefits more on one side than the other, but nonetheless, it's still restrictive. I mean, as far as it goes for me and people who look like me, neither side wants us anywhere. That's my current takeaway. It could change later, I don't know, but that's where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I mean, they're not working to change it. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Nobody's really working to change the shit. But it's like, at the end of the day, man, like, other countries got this shit figured out.
Yeah, they do.
With different ethnicities within their country. It's just certain shit they do. Like Germany has it figured out. Like if I move anywhere else in the world, it would probably be a Central American country where I can pretty much do my farming thing like I want to, or I'm moving to Germany.
Gotcha.
Because the Dutch is getting a taste of that now, because they went in there and they changed the alimony laws, and as soon as they did, the surge in divorces popped.
And that's why you don't mess with traditionalism. It provides the results that you can't see, but it's going to provide the destruction of it immediately once you remove those safeguards.
Yep.
It's like, look, removing a wing mid-flight sounds great when the plane is on the ground, but if you're trying to remove bolts from the wing while the plane is in the air, everybody's going to suffer the consequences, and nobody's going to make it to the ground.
Yep. Yep. And by changing those alimony laws, like I said, the divorce rates surged into double digits, which only means it's not too far away if it hasn't already happened. They're going to have to start creating a subsidized division. Because that's what's next. I don't get enough alimony, so I'm going to need welfare to help me with my child and so on and so forth. What's coming.
Well, they've already got that. They've already got the bunk beds policy on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then to make it funny is that Fasting put up a video last night where the Dutch are trying to tell men to have a sexual partner for the lockdown. So
what? Wow, I gotta see that. No, man, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Oh. He put it up yesterday. Yeah, hold on. He put it up yesterday, 14 hours ago. Dutch officials.
Rattlesnake wrapped in the same packaging. You can't separate them, but you got to take them both.
Yeah, here it is. Dutch officials recommend sexual partner for the lockdown.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out.
Yeah, he put it up like 14 hours ago, man.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
I'm like, okay, so you change alimony for me to get raped, but you want me to take on a sexual? Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I said that don't sound like America, man.
Yeah.
That don't sound like America.
While I'm on it, I want to shout out New. Thanks for the cash out, brother. But yeah, that's crazy, man. But
it's not a good idea, man.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
It's not a good idea.
But men are going to take it up.
Oh,
there's going to be men walking around with that information saying, well, the official said we should, so here we go.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I have no control. What was I thinking?
This is what they said we should do. Come on, let's do it. Thank you for putting the putting the link in. Yeah, because New saw it already. I got it in my playlist. I haven't checked it out.
Yeah,
but when I saw it, I was like, oh no, I got to save this for later.
Yeah, I got to check it out. Yeah. It's probably in mine. I missed it. Man, I went to bed, tried to go to bed as early as I could the other night. Tired, but I got to check that out, man.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So and that's gonna be passed around.
Oh yeah.
Government enforced consequences. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give me a minute, fellas. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and like Unspecialist said, they always expect men to be the bailout package, and that's true.
And guess what? Some men want to be the bailout package because they never were the bailout package at any point in time until they do become part of this plan, and then they be like, "Man, this stuff is rough." Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why, look, man.
Yeah,
This is why logic, reason, and common sense have never gone old. Ever gone
no,
old.
well, it never will. It never will. You know, and you hope you can, like the saying goes, save at least one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now it's not about saving anybody. Now you're just standing there watching them walk willingly into the furnace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause,
Right now,
that's
there's
the
really
thing.
not much you can do.
Yeah, because this is no longer about trickery. This is about men willingly walking into the fire.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, you could put the nets up. But if they're still diving into places where they're not nets, then the problem was never the nets.
Exactly.
The problem wasn't the net.
Yep. And that's why we're saying, you know, it gets that point that you just got to shrug your shoulders, knock the dust off your hands and your feet, man, and keep it moving.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah, no, because it's one of those things where we've reached that that peak. We've reached that baseline where there's enough men out there who have said everything that need to be said and shared their stories for you to know that this is not the right game plan, but you still turn around and go do it. There's nothing we can do for you.
That's why I haven't done much content lately, because everything that has been said has been already said. I have over 600 videos. And if you can't get it by now, people are like, hey, man, where you go? You doing any content? I'm like, yeah, I've already said all this shit already.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that you take your 600 videos and you take other people who's done 100, 200 videos, and we're talking about a process that's been going on for 5, 6, 7 years.
And it's a process. And it is a process. It's like, dude, listen. And the explosion of the non-principled spear, it's like, dude, listen. There's nothing that's going to happen here. And I know what they're trying to set me up to do. We want you to play through. I'm like, I don't play through shit. If this is my golf tee time, I'm not playing through 3 or 4 people's fucking. No, just don't overbook the spot, yo.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, I know what the tee time is. I know how long it takes to shoot 18.
Yeah.
Horrifically, by the way. But you know.
and that's the mindset we need them to have. But like I said earlier, we're outnumbered, and we're being overrun. You know, and for those of us who are smart enough to figure it out and prepare ourselves, we'll be okay. But
I mean, you know, we're over leveraged, but we're not over leveraged for people who actually wanted to change in the first place.
Exactly.
We're over leveraged for the people who never had any intention on changing and wanted you to sit here and make these people change. I'm like, dude, I'm already at the finish line. You don't get it. I'm dropping propaganda leaflets. I'm not landing this plane there.
And that's my game plan, man. I'm trying to build and leave it behind.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's a cyclic system. Success or failure. It's the same system. It takes nearly the same amount of effort or ignorance. And you can choose whether you want to do it or not. And once you realize how simple that shit is, they're like, man, how do you, like, dude, they have a culture of fucking success. They have a culture of embarrassment. Even if you are successful, but you didn't do it the traditional way where you run it shit. Right. People ain't trying to hear none of that.
Yep.
So like you still are a fucking failure to them.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, absolutely. True. And like I've said many times before, man, it's that situation. Just, you know, you got to remove ineffective people from around you, because all they're going to do is they're going to beg and demand.
They're going to be the standard. If you let them linger, they become the standard. Because that's the easiest thing to do, is to be stuck. It's very easy.
Oh, it's very easy. Yeah. Very easy. Very easy.
Nothing.
I spent like a year or two being around people at one point earlier in my life, and I had to I gotta go. Because I wasn't doing anything but getting dragged down in their quagmire. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And these people within this environment know that this is exactly what happened when you bring them here.
Yep.
When you bring them around, when you bring them near, pretty soon they're going to destroy everything around you, because that's what they're here for.
Yeah.
It's their nature.
That's what they're here for. Yes, and
It's their
And guess
nature.
what? Destroyers always think they're building shit. They are building shit. They're building more destruction.
Well, yeah, they're building a foundation of destroyed bodies, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing to remember. Someone that's always trying to bring you down, they're beneath you. I mean, it's
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Well, look. Their very nature is based on chaos and nothing more.
Exactly.
Nothing more. Nothing more. Nothing more. Nothing less. Their entire nature and existence is predicated on chaos. Controlled or not is irrelevant. It's still chaos.
Yeah.
So that's just what they do. That's why I said it's their nature. Um, it's even if they have the wherewithal to understand that what they're doing makes no sense, they don't have the wherewithal to know how to make the changes or turn away from it. They just go blindly towards it.
They're not trying to stop.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah,
They don't care.
yeah,
They don't care to stop. That's the thing.
yeah. Because it's funny to them because it's that classic situation, especially here in America. If you're on top, they live for nothing and knock you down. But when you're down, they root for you as the underdog. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
And that's why more people root for underdogs rather than creating like an underdog is supposed to be a one generational thing. That's what most immigrants learn when they come here. Like you were supposed to be at the bottom of the pack for the time that you are there where you can't really compete. But everybody else that you create after that, you can see this system, how it works. And even if you're not engaging in it, the fact that you told them the truth about how it works overall is going to net everybody the benefits. But these people will be like, not only, and I'm not going to look at it, I'm just going to sit here and act like these things don't exist, and I want the success from it.
One of the problems. One of the things that I've come to realize, and this is not to diminish anybody. It's just an observation. When it comes to quote unquote African Americans here in this country, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here, and it's definitely bad, and changes need to be made. But I don't think they realize how lucky they are in comparison to other places.
Yeah,
Exactly. Where you have an immigrant come here and understand, true, the system's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than where I came from. I got a chance at least, and I think that's one of the things a lot of African Americans are missing in this particular instance, because there but for the grace of God, as the saying goes. Like I said, we've got issues, but let's be real. The last 40, 50 years, you've been, in comparison to other places, you've been living on easy street. You know what I mean? So you're about to see what after the first quarter and everything and all that good stuff. You're about to start getting a taste of what it's like to be in the Congo. You're going to start getting a taste. You know what I'm saying? What it's going to be like being from third world countries. You're going to start getting a taste of that, and then you're going to start saying, "Yeah."
Here's the thing. Like it's like I'm not sure whether you watched the Flash TV show.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Or even better, the actual end of the Justice League Apocalypse War. When you know what? No matter what Flash seen through Flashpoint, like Constantine had to say, "Bro, look around. Did you just hear what you just heard?"
Yeah. Whatever you do.
Yeah. It's a long sight better than what we got now.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, whatever you do is got to be better than this.
It is and he looked like that's like what, the last 7 superheroes on the planet, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so how much you really want to run, or else like. I think you can put this Flashpoint shit ahead of you, man. I really think you can get. Think you can get over your actual concerns about this Flashpoint thing.
Yeah.
Given the situation at hand.
Yeah, things might change, but it'd be a lot. It'd be a lot.
It's gotta be better than this.
A lot better sight than this lot. So, Yeah, he wasn't wrong though. He wasn't wrong. Just like when Superman's up there talking about let's rally together. I'm about to put a kryptonite bullet in your chest.
Hey man, look,
Hey,
man.
everybody,
That dude put out that cigarette like this dude is tripping.
hey, everybody looked at him. Everybody gave him that look of like this nigga, right?
and mind you, out of everybody there, other than Constantine, because he wasn't in the original thing per se, but out of everybody there, he's the only one that walked away unscathed. He's back to his normal presence. Everybody else is still fucked up.
now, here's the thing: like Constantine could go back to the magic realm, and nothing really affects him.
That's
he
true.
Still could have left.
Yes, he
could have
have
left, not said shit, be like, "Fuck these, I'm out."
Mm-hmm.
However, he decided, like, bro, listen, you're the only one who has the power to change these things.
Yeah,
you're the only.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it, man.
Yep, gotta do it.
But like I'm making another flashpoint.
Yeah, but like I said, they're gonna get a taste of it in the coming year for sure. Yeah, they're gonna get a taste of it, and instead of adjusting accordingly, the proper way, what they're gonna do is they're gonna double, triple down on the nonsense they're doing now, thinking that's gonna solve something. I'm the victim, give it to me for free, blah, 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 blah. We're hurting, gimme. And what they're going to do, at least where men are concerned, they're not even going to do it for themselves. They're going to push the black woman forward and use her to get it because they know everybody, quote unquote, will rally around her.
Everybody wants her to rule, so that way they won't have to take responsibility for it.
Exactly. Not realizing that rulership is false propaganda for sure. But at least to some degree, that is.
Well, that rulership, it leads to the end of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It does. Yeah. That's going to be the end result. And flat because what's going to be is going to lead, like you said, to the end of Apocalypse War. I don't know who's going to be the Superman version, but I know the Flash is going to be real men. The Flash is going to represent real men who are not buying into the propaganda and who can rebuild. That's what that's going to be, because that's technically what he's doing by creating another Flashpoint. He's rebuilding. That's going to, quote unquote, represent us and those who think like us. Superman would probably be the Pookie and Ray Ray sitting up there trying to talk about, let's rally together and save the black woman or whatever, or our people or whatever.
No, it won't be put. That's not Pookie and Ray Ray.
Work with.
It's not Pookie and Ray Ray. Those are your male feminists.
That's You know what? That's a good analogy.
No matter how hopeless things look, still going back to the hope shit.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, those are the ones selling them dreams, selling woo tickets.
Batman says 1 billion deaths
at the least.
At the
minimum.
Before we can get it under control, if we can.
Provided we get anything under control.
Exactly.
And then he ended it with "if we can." So
yeah.
But that's how it's gonna be. Then so be it. But like I've told many people before, if that's how it's gonna be, then so be it. But I will tell you this: it's what you asked for.
Yeah,
it's an eventuality. You've seen it coming. You've seen the iceberg, and the actual driver of the thing thought he can go through the iceberg, but he forgot how simple and basic science tell you that most of the iceberg is under the water.
Yeah, I think at least 75% of it is under the water. They looking like, they ain't nothing but a couple of ice cubes there. We get past this shit. We got just alpha our way through it. We gonna make it.
Accident by an entire planet below the water that you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
That
was pretty much Superman's speech at the beginning of Apocalypse War. No, we gonna do this.
Because you did say that. You said he tried to alpha his way through it. Yeah, you did.
He's like, the most reasonable person in the room was who?
Flash.
Fucking Luthor.
Yeah, Lex Luthor. Constantine spoke against it. Flash was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you seen
Lex Luthor was like, look, we can make a deal. Let's see what he wants. Let's see. And it's like, we're not going to discuss this. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Yep, but that's what it's going to be. And like I said, it's what they asked for. And like the saying goes, now we're going to watch the consequences.
Yeah.
Because see, here's what's going to happen. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I'm looking at this from a historical perspective, using Rome, Babylon, etc., and so on. It's gonna go straight to hell. And when it goes straight to hell, there's going to be, not all, but there's going to be a decent amount of women who's going to start backtracking on all this feminist bullshit, and they're going to try to claim that they're traditional again.
Oh,
Now, out of the ones who are doing that, half of them are going to be lying, half of them are going to be doing it straight out of fear and going to stick to it. That half who are going to do it out of fear and stick to it are going to start coming looking for one particular person and one particular person only, us. And then Pookie and Ray Ray are going to be sitting there thinking that they can come in and play the games they used to, and this chick is going to look at them, and we're going to lose a percentage of them because they can't
sending their women in as advanced agents, women in as advanced agents, and they don't recognize that. I'm so glad that happened, because that is what's going to happen if you try to come for MOT. I'm going to see your ass coming, and I'm going to co-opt everything that you fucking got. Everything.
Yeah, because there were some brothers I had told. I said, look, imagine it this way. You got your stuff set up. Suddenly there's a knock on your door. There's a woman with a screaming baby talking about they're hungry, they have nowhere to go, etc., and so on. If you open that door, you're a dead man.
Yeah.
And they was like, how do you figure? I said, because it's going to be one or two things. She's going to come in and she's going to destroy everything, or you're going to open that door and you're going to get snuffed from the side because Pookie and Ray Ray set her up to play that game. I said, this is no different than Cardi B when she used to rob people.
Yeah. You know what?
This is what it is.
There's an even better example. That's an even better example of that. The last thing from Justice League Unlimited, when Lex Luthor was explaining how they ended up on Earth after resurrecting Darkseid. That story that he was telling versus the reality of what and Superman said it. Let's say I believe a single word of your story, and you hear this motherfucker lying. As you see, he's betraying everybody to end up exactly where they were then. I'm like,
Yep. But that's the scenario. That's the scenario we're going to be going through. And just like and if you want to go to scripture with Elijah and all that stuff about 7 women coming to your door, yada yada yada. Okay, I'm happy for you, but it don't mean you have to take them in.
No.
And if you do, you're a fool.
Like, look, there's a lot of people who need help right now. You're just the ones I'm looking at.
Yep.
Hey, you gotta be like they was for Joseph and Mary. Hey, sorry, ain't no room here at this end, dog. Yeah.
Exactly.
Ain't no room here, man.
Exactly.
Plenty of room for the dead. No room for the living.
And again, going back to the overall topic of the stream, it's jealousy because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and the fact that you did, they're jealous of it. And instead of again figuring out how to make it happen or trying to ask you how to make it happen, they figure it's simpler just to come take.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. I mean, there's nothing else to add to that. That's
they're waiting for their shot.
Yeah.
Hyenas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a matriarchy. Sure enough.
Yeah, I seen how them hyenas doing. I done seen Discovery Channel and Animal Planet and all that. Yeah, you got the lioness. You know, she's done killed her kill, trying to bring it to the cubs, and you got a pack of hyenas.
Feeding prison.
Yeah, you ain't getting away with this one. This is ours. We taking it from you.
Yep.
And that's what I'm gonna show tonight on the show about how these women came into the sphere, and I'm gonna show that as well. You know, a hyena. You know, the decent black woman, the longest single one by herself, and here all these pack of hoes who just pack the sphere to maximum capacity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. I mean, literally, that's all it is. And like I said, you got to be able to weed them out and see who's who. But I think we may have gone just a bit too far on that. Because we gave mouthpieces to a lot of people who should have just been silenced right out the damn gate.
I mean, so there needed to be a restriction. Like, I do agree in principle with the Minister Jab, O'Shea, and Angry Man how there needed to be a restriction. The restriction was needed for them, not for us. It's for them. Speaking for uncultured women in a space for men. That's what the problem was. The problem is that those people from 2.0 who took over the message of 1.0, look at where they are right now. This is what their plan was. Their plan was to come here and destroy everything. So that way this place can be unrecognizable so chaos can actually flourish.
Yep.
Because it's like this. I'm not sure if you understand the game changer situation, how all those people came up and did that stuff to that guy. And then all of a sudden, all the pieces of garbage in the spear ignored the fact when it was actually turned over the other way that it didn't happen. But those people kept going on doing live streams about it. Like it did happen. It's like the Platinum Elite thing that I'm going to do for Friday. How all these guys really want to ignore that has happened. I'm like, nah. We got to discuss
Well, I caught a piece of it earlier on Agon's stream, listening to you guys. But I only caught like the last 4 or 5 minutes. I can't speak on it because I don't have the full thing in my head.
But that's the whole thing.
Wow.
The simple fact that dudes can just walk up to anybody and pull the same type of what they want to see is trolling, but all it is not trolling. This is how this person actually feels about the thing. It's like, look, man, you can't just walk up to anybody with that level of logic and think that you're going to make any headway. That's not how the world works. You're going to walk up to somebody one day with that type of logic and you're going to get destroyed. One of them was me, the second was Game Changer, and the third was Tommy Sotomayor. It's like, dude, listen, man, nobody cares about these women's opinion that much, except for you.
Yeah, because I've had my moments. I've had my moments with them as well. I know. I had that moment with Platinum on Game Changers stream, and I know I had Sir Ism on your stream. As a matter of fact, Sir Ism was the first one I ever came across on your stream to realize that those dudes are out there. I had never seen that until your stream, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, these people go into spaces where they know they're not welcome because they know. I'm like, I'm not accepting of a lot of things. After a while, I see what's going on. I write you a ticket and it's a one-way trip. You can't get off this island, bro.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Your counter arguments will never hear me.
No,
hear your counter argument.
No, it won't. Because I know. A couple of days ago, I was listening to a stream with Fantastic. I think it was Ramil.
Yeah.
Ramil and Edward Anderson just. I can't grasp it. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't have to grasp it.
No, you don't. It's just that once you start going down the road of male shame and forgetting about the inaccuracies of the system, I'm out. Because anybody can take up that line of thinking. Anybody can really do that. And it doesn't take a lot of time investment to do that. It doesn't take a lot.
No, it doesn't.
All you gotta do is just say, you know what, you could do it. If I did it, he could do it. I'm like, dude, listen. If I were to stay in Mississippi, probably beyond that time, I would be a different person. And I see the different person I would have been still stuck there. It's still a good thing to have a job at Walmart. Like, that's where I would have been.
Yeah. Well, same thing with me with Brooklyn. The same thing with me with Brooklyn. Because like I said on one stream before, I can't lie. I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. So I went in the military. And when I got out,
and didn't know it. Did
Yeah,
the right
yeah,
thing and didn't know it.
exactly. And I came back years later, man, and the same dudes I left were still in the same place they were before. I was like, okay, yeah, that was definitely the right choice.
Doing the
You know,
same old stuff.
well,
Yeah.
because sometimes you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? You know you're doing stuff, but you don't understand the reasons you're doing it because something inside you is telling you. You know what I'm saying? But when I came back, like I said, after being gone for 6 years, man, I came back. They were all doing the same thing, and it clicked in my head. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I did make the right decision on that one. You know what I mean? You know?
And you have to admit it. You can't be, like the Flash in the Sabotage story point when he come back and try to live his old life,
Yeah.
and he end up messing up everything. And it's
Mhm.
like, dude, listen. Sometimes you're out of that situation for a reason.
Yep.
Don't try to go back and figure it out. It's kind of like watching a flashpoint and then go back and try to make all the same mistakes but better. Like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no reason or logic to that at all in any capacity. Because like I said, I went back, but I made sure when I went back, it wasn't going to be there for long. Because like I said, it
This is what
clicked.
my grandfather said about going back. He told me you need to get out of this city as soon as possible. And he was like, and whenever you do come back, and it may take 20 years. I waited 20 to be sure, by the way. And he was like, make sure you can leave the same way you came in. If you
Mhm.
can't leave as quickly as you've come in, then it's not okay to come back. Because a lot of people end up coming back and they end up getting stuck there. Because a lot of people dropped out or even got kicked out of the military for whatever reason, came back, picked up their street shit, ended up killing
Mhm.
somebody 25 years.
Mhm. Mhm. I saw
Just
that too.
because they came back. Just because they came
Yep.
back.
Yep. I saw that. I saw that as well. I saw that as well. Because like I said, when I came back, when I came back, I stayed there somewhere between 7 and 10 years, and that's because I was building something.
Yeah.
And once it was built, I was gone. I was gone. I haven't looked back since. I haven't looked back since, and that's over 20 years now. I haven't looked back since, and I'm not going to. Got friends who are still there. Don't talk to them anymore because when I was talking to them after I left, it was the same nonsense that they were talking when I was there, and that's not conducive to what I have planned. Um, whether it be your words, your energy, your concepts, whatever. Nah, I can't do it. Especially when I had like one or two who would always sit around talking about, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? When you make it this, yada, 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 you know what I'm saying? Come back, you know what I'm saying? Help out the neighborhood. Why would I do that?
Fuck.
Well, why,
Like, man, look.
why wouldn't you do it? I said, because I'm the same nerd everybody bullied and fucked with every opportunity they could. And now you're telling me to reward that? No,
And
sorry.
and and, and I'm telling you, Lawrence, guess what? And whenever you bring it back up to them, they're gonna show you that they learned not a
Nothing.
thing.
Oh, oh, oh no, oh no, oh no. It gets better than that. It gets better than that. They are gonna teach me they learned something, but what they're gonna teach me is they learned how to sneak in and steal my shit.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's it.
oh yeah, come closer, come
Because
closer, so we can rob you.
exactly. Because realistically speaking, whenever that happens and something negative happens to the person who came back, it's always the people they knew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whether it's your house robbed or them killing you for money and jewelry on the street, whatever have you may, I promise you, 9 out of every 10 times, and I'm being generous here, that the person who did it was the person you knew.
I mean, it's really high enough to be 10 out of 10, but we'll
Yeah.
just give y'all a little
That's
bit of hope with 9 out of 10.
that's why I said that's why I said I was being generous. That's why I said I was being generous.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I can't remember his name, but like 2 3 years ago, football guy made a success, came back to his neighborhood, moved in the suburbs, was helping the community and all that good stuff. And what happens? He comes home one day in the driveway, and two of the idiots from the neighborhood he was helping that he knew killed him in his own driveway.
Ooh,
And that's only one story of many. You know this.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But above all things, like I said, you know, I was a nerd growing up. I got terrorized in my neighborhood all the time. Well, at least until my cousin William and his friends showed up. But that wasn't until I was 14, 15. And even then, they couldn't be everywhere I was all the time. So, you know, why would you ask me to come back and give to you after you did what you did? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just weird.
But
It's
it's
just
not weird because they don't care. They're hyenas.
Nah, man,
They want you to go and work. They want you to go and work for the meal while they can just take it from you before you get to enjoy it.
And see,
Yeah.
and here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about, and maybe this is me internalizing. I don't know. But when you talk to me like that and you try to use me that way, the only thing that I hear in my head is you talking to me like I'm your bitch.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
No doubt.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
And I'm not pussy, so it's just not gonna happen. You know, I mean, I might still talk and sound like a nerd, but that don't mean I'm still a nerd.
Right.
They don't understand like the type of, you know, um, they don't understand the type of pain that they can exhibit even for a second if we were able to have our way. And they assume that they are the only ones who could be able to do these things. I'm like,
Mhm.
your little algorithmic level of payback has nothing to do with my level of logarithmic payback that I would do if I was
Mhm.
able to do what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And they think that they're holding this trump card of their quote unquote loyalty. Like it's not worth anything. It's never been worth anything, not even to you. I see what loyalty is worth among you. Why would I
Yep.
want that?
Yep. And it's the same thing when I came back, and you know they can't recognize the changes in you after coming back from the
Nope.
military or doing traveling
Nope.
or whatever, and they still want to
No.
play that, and they still want to play that game. Because I know when I got back, the first 6 months I was back, they were still running that game, and I had to explain to one guy because he wanted to get into a fight, and he was bigger than me, no question to it, and I knew for a fact I was going to lose that fight. But the problem he had is when I looked at him and I told him, you know you're gonna win, right? And he looked at me. He's like, what? I said, you're gonna win this. And he's like, well, hell yeah, I am, motherfucker. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I just want to let you know that it is gonna cost you. And he's like, what? I said, I'm gonna take an eye, I'm gonna take a finger, I'm gonna shatter a kneecap, I'm taking something. Because for the ass whooping you're about to give me, I want to walk away with some kind of prize to let it be known. And he didn't know what to do to that. And then everybody else started talking, and I had to explain to him, you got to understand, you guys have nothing to live for. I have everything to live for. So it's gonna work.
Mm.
It's gonna mean something to me. It's gonna mean something to me. So I want my trophy. I want my trophy. And after that instance, nobody ever fucked with me again. You know. And it's a shame you have to have that kind of conversation, especially when you think about what the dude wanted to fight over, which was absolutely nothing. It was
Oh,
ego.
of course.
It's
Oh yeah.
ego. It's always ego. It's never anything of importance. It's always ego. Every
It's
single
never
time.
tangible. It's never tangible.
No, yeah, never a tangible. It's always an ego thing. Always an ego thing. Why you look at me like that? What are you talking about? It's like, well,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be looking at me. Are you serious?
Right.
You know,
Mm.
another dude, big snowstorm in New York, digging out the snow, in the street so cars can get by. He want to pull up and knock all the snow back into the spot it came from. And I looked at him through the car window. And then I turned around and I went back to shoveling the snow. And he got out the car. He's like, you got a problem? I said, yeah, man, there was no need for you to do all that with the snow, bro. And he's like, so what are you going to do about it? I'm going to pick up the snow you just knocked back in here and put it back where it belongs. He's like, well, you sound like you want to do something. How did you get that? And he's like, well, you gave me a look. I said, brother, for real, I'm not about to stand here and fight with you over snow. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen in any capacity. He said, so you a pussy. You just going to put the snow back? Look, man, if
Yeah.
that's what means, if that means being a pussy, then so be it. I'm a pussy, but I'm just going to shovel the snow and put it back. And
Like
then
a
when
free.
and then one of his dudes got out the car and he walked over and he looked at me. And then he looked at the dude. He said, yo, man, don't fuck with him, man. Just get back in the car. No, fuck that. He said, yo, nigga, get back in the car. And then the brother came over to me. He's like, yo, man, I'm sorry about that. I said, no worries, man. And he said, I appreciate you. I said, cool, no problem, man. Just go on so I can get the snow back. But that's the ego thing I'm talking about. You want to stand in the street and fight over snow. Seriously? Seriously, you want to fight
Why?
over snow?
Could you imagine like going to like this court explaining yourself about why you beat the shit out of this dude and why the judge read off 20 years for some fucking shit you easily not could have been a part of.
Right.
Exactly. And see, and I learned that from my cousin William when I was growing up, because he told me a thing that I hold to this day. Your perception of me will never be my reality.
Mm.
So you can walk around with a perception that I'm this, that, and et cetera, and so on, but I'm the one who knows the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't need to prove that to you, because you're not important to my existence. So if you want to stand here and fight over snow, knock yourself out, but you'll be shadow boxing, because I'm not doing shit with you. I'm not.
Right.
And like I said, I've spent a lot of years with people thinking I'm a punk or something like that, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Because if I'm gonna fight, and it's gonna be worth something. I'm not about to do 20 years over snow, just like MOT said. And I'm not gonna do MOT, and I'm not gonna do 20 years over your ego. That's your problem,
Yeah,
not mine.
yeah, it sure is.
That's not mine.
It's like,
So like I said, if I'm a pussy for walking away, then so be it. But if you touch my children, or something like that, oh, then you're gonna catch it. You're gonna catch it. And that's how it should. And that's how it should be.
Or if you put your hands on me while I'm trying to give you the out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because they were good for that too. Snuffing somebody, sneaking up on somebody.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, that's the mentality we're dealing with now. And like I said, I got no problem being a punk to somebody. I really don't. Because like I said, I know what I'm doing, and I know why I'm doing it, and I know where I'm going with it. So yeah, knock yourself out, man. Your perception means nothing to me.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what's this dude worth anyway? Nothing.
Right.
And the judge, while he reads your ass off the maximum time and giving your ass that motherfucking, Michael Strahan numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
You like, well, this could not have happened, right? Yeah. All right, 22 years. Like, oof. Oh, God damn.
Yeah. Because that's the thing we have to understand as men. If you didn't matter to me before I met you, you won't matter after.
Right.
It takes a lot of strength not to fight. It does. It takes a lot of strength not to fight.
Ooh.
And a lot of people understand the caveat to that over bullshit.
Yeah, and it's worse for people like us, because like you said, standing in front of the judge trying to make a case about why you fucked this dude up over snow. In addition to that, you're going to be looked at like, so you're a combat veteran. You should know better.
Yeah.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That district attorney have no problem using every card, every slick trick in the fucking book, but everything that you know that you shouldn't have been a part of. And guess what? Everything that qualifies you not to be in that situation will be brought up. You had so much to lose. You had a vibrant family. Look at these tax returns. Why were you a part of this? Well, sir, years.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing about those guys with that mentality. They're almost like females. They have a built-in radar to recognize brothers who have a lot to lose. Therefore, they go up and they try to mess with them so they can lose it. And I told that to somebody before, and they looked at me like I was crazy. But I'm telling you, it's the truth. These guys they have a certain kind of radar. It's whether it's the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you dress, whatever it is. They got a built-in radar to know brothers who's got something. And their game plan is either A, to take it from you, and if they can't take it from you, to get you to lose it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
If they can't take it, they celebrate it more by you losing it or by your own actions. There's no action you can take towards them that's going to make the actual thing sweeter to them than you losing it because of your own actions. You don't have to fight every fight. You don't have to. You don't. You already won. They know you won. They know you won.
Yeah. And like I tell brothers all the time, with the stuff that I talk about that I do or don't do, and etc. and so on, I don't make it a secret. It is not easy. It is not. It took me a couple of years to learn how to get past the internalized anger that I would have from having to walk away, because I was still in that mentality back then when I was younger about, quote unquote, being a man, being this, being that, don't let nobody disrespect you and all that nonsense. And it took a couple of years before I figured out how to get past that level of anger inside to be able to like, okay, so it's done. It's done. You know what I'm saying? Just
We
like
need
when
to
I
do a show on this, man. We need to do a show on this.
Yeah.
We can invite both of y'all on so that way we can talk about this like
yeah,
next weekend, like Saturday or something. Because
I did
a
that
lot of
because,
people
yeah,
uses that.
it happened on Game Changers panel between me and Platinum.
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. And I, Platinum was just going on and on and on and on. I was like, look, you will respect me. And he just kept going. You will respect me. And I just kept saying it over and over. Didn't raise my voice or nothing. And then all of a sudden he came out of nowhere with all that ego shit. And if I don't, and I got quiet and I said, look, man, nah, what do you mean if you don't? What's gonna happen? Nothing's gonna happen, man. We're grown men. We having a disagreement. That's all, man. Ain't nobody gonna be into all that schoolyard sandbox nonsense. Nobody's doing all that. Come on, man. Seriously?
Especially of a dude who ain't shit already.
Even if he was somebody of value, it's just words, man. We're just having a conversation and we disagree.
People who are of value, Lawrence, don't present themselves like that unless they don't have any value. That's why they do that.
Come on, he's like, and if I don't? So what do you mean if you don't? And he's like, well, what's gonna happen? I was like,
you can almost hear like the hand snap in the arms on actually the sides of the hips when he say shit like that. They're like the rolling neck and the fucking popping mouth. Like what the fuck?
The Keisha move with the finger snap and rolling. Oh man, I'm done, man. I'm done. Oh, really?
Oh
man,
but like I said, that's why I've gotten very picky on what channels I go to or listen to, and there's sometimes that I won't listen at all because there'll be a particular guest up there, and I'm like, man, look, it's just words, man. It's just words, and like I've said many a times, Eisen got me over a lot of that, man. Because for a while, I used to get heated like a mug listening to some of that stuff, and he'd be like, "Yo, man, don't take that shit serious like that."
I'm telling you, most of these folks here, man, they're a comedy act to me. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm. Like Lawrence. As long as you know that they're being a bitch on purpose, everything else makes sense.
Well, yeah, I got that. No. I mean, I got that. I got that now over the months with Eisen breaking it down for me, and like I said, it helped me get through it. Because, like I said, man, Sunday come, I'll be on the phone with him. Yo, what the hell?
It's like I've had an infinite troll before, that infant skills, and I've had him talk about me and her. Now, hey, he knows. Man, I'm not finna acknowledge you. You ain't even important enough for me to acknowledge. So there's no point in me saying anything. Period.
Yeah, because you and Zero, that's his favorite.
Yeah.
You and Zero. I don't know what that's about.
Especially Zero.
I really don't care. Yeah.
Especially Zero.
I don't know what it's about. I really don't care because I'm looking at the comments. I'll be like, yeah, okay. Well, we're done with that.
Yeah, I've even sent a message to Zero like, hey, I said, man, hey, this insignificant dude ain't even worth your time, man. And he was like, bruh. I was like, yeah.
Insignificant, like, dude. Like,
yo, hold on a second. Yo, new, for real?
What did he say?
Yeah, he said I eat paint chips. He said,
shit.
That's what he said.
1,800 abortions a day in paint chips. That's what infantry's always talking about, man.
Yes,
always talking.
Yeah, he told me I was an idiot.
Thing, paint chips. How are you going to control an abortion when it's a private decision in a doctor's office? It's like, look, if you cared that much about abortion, just ban the procedure. That's way easier to do state per state than it is trying to change the actual laws when it comes to privacy. And it's like, how did they get these dumb motherfuckers to be this invested in this easily solvable issue?
Actually, there's an even easier way than that. Yo, stop raw dogging.
Yeah.
Oh, but look, hey, you can give that up. That ain't happening. Especially with the ones they want to do it with too. Hey, look,
Look,
yeah.
man.
Go ahead, let it happen.
Let me tell you something. Between my male and female cousins and seeing how them having kids the way they did and just out there raw dogging, man.
Man, messed their whole life up.
Yo, my cousin William told me point blank, man. It's like, yo, man, wrap it up, bro. Wrap it up. He said, don't be like us, man. Don't be out there just chasing girls for the sake of chasing girls. Wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? They'll be knocking them out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can, you know, and it's funny because people laugh, but I can sit here and say every one of my children came from my wife, period. Whichever wife it was at the time, but they came from my wives. I don't have any outside children. I wasn't out there pumping and dumping and making 15, 20 kids. Yo, man.
Surprise babies and shit. Like, nah,
Exactly. You know, you got to be smart, man. And that's all you're asking for. Just
having
just
surprise kids by a woman that you know her definite track record of.
Exactly.
Hey, especially, yeah, that's what he says. Yeah, telling black men to stop procreating is stupid while these other groups are multiplying. You call it for the extinction of black men. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
He wrote that supposed to
go extinct. I'm for real.
Yeah. He wrote that to zero. I remember that. Yeah, zero was on the panel and he kept writing that. And it's funny because it's one of those situations where I don't know why you're having problems with that. I don't know how many of us have sat up here
Easily
and said,
solvable.
It's not even that. Myself included. As many of us who've sat up here and talked about let it burn, you already know where we stand. So why are you even saying that? It just makes no sense.
Like they're literally coming to us so that way we can call the fire department. And it's like, do you know what our stance is? Our stance is, so the fire department should come out faster when you have the let it burn people call it, but you don't want to call it. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, man. Got it, bro. It's in the queue. It's going to be the next call we're going to have out. Come back a day later. Hey, man, the city's still burning. I'm like, bro, it's still in the queue, man. Still in the
It didn't go through, man. They called and make it, man. Something wrong, man. Keep cutting out.
Still in the queue, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Top priority, man. Next call going out. Come back the next day. I'm like, man, look, there ain't going to be no city left. Like, that's the point of letting it burn. Like, okay. Hey, man, come back tomorrow, though, man. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah. And then
try again.
Yeah, and that's why I always say it's not a hatred thing. It really isn't. I don't hate my people. I don't hate men. I don't hate women. But I do understand what's going on, where we're at, and sometimes a cleansing fire is required.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm gonna be real. Look, I don't hate them either, but look, I don't consider them folks my people.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? From both of you, I can see that point. I'm gonna need to change how I phrase that. Seriously. I need to figure out a better way to phrase that. But that is correct because they aren't. They really aren't.
Man, I'll go the black round route on and say, look, them yo people. Whoever it is, you will take them yo people. Them ain't mine.
I'm like, look. You can use possessive pronouns have a very specific definition assigned to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, you don't have to sit here and try to make stuff yours that ain't yours.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's that aspect that's still left over, from still thinking in groupthink. Knowing full well the group is dysfunctional to begin with.
There ain't no group action.
Yeah.
My bad, y'all. But especially he told spiritual logic to ignore the environment and the results and just procreate anyway.
Oh wow!
I told y'all this. Hey,
that's
that is the infinite. That's the infinite troll. Yes. Oh, infinite skills. Yes.
Yeah.
Infinite skills. Yeah.
Infinite skills. God,
yeah.
Hey man, look. If it works for you, knock yourself out. But you ain't gonna tell me to go do it. No, thank you.
No, I mean, it sounds like a good, nice solo suicide mission. Good luck on that.
Go ahead, man. Hey, I'm rooting for you. Hey.
Yeah, man. I'm rooting for you.
Storm the beach, dog. You got it, man. You take on the whole thing. Do it, dog.
Listen, Mass Effect 2, you didn't have to do any of the side missions. You could have got everybody killed on that shuttle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you make it, I'm going to sit you down for debriefing for a tactical assessment because I'd like to know how to do that again. But that's about it.
No. Somebody that dangerous is useful, just not around us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Go over there, be dangerous with your people.
Yeah, for real,
Yeah.
man. Why don't you
Yeah,
go over there and go
but
take yourself out with your people? And if any of you survive, where else can we stick this type of person?
well, it like I said, whether you come from a scriptural perspective or a secular perspective, one thing cannot be denied: this is done.
Oh yeah, without a
You
doubt.
know, I mean, it's done. It just is. And
It's okay. It's okay.
we get to have the privilege of watching it. To be honest with you, and I mean that as I said it. It's going to be a privilege to watch. It really is. um, because like everything else in life, there's always a great reset of some sort. So to be able to sit and watch it, from a historical perspective, oh, I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy that immensely. Um, there's very few opportunities to live to see the comeuppance of someone that's had it coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
The only thing you gotta do.
and to look at it as a group or a society is going to be very interesting to watch.
No, because I have never been told or taught to look at it that way. I just like, look, something needs to happen for the sake of it happening, and the lack of consequences that these people have received thus far is not a good reason why they shouldn't receive them when it's time for them to receive them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the great reset. That's the great
Yeah.
reset. And like I said, we've seen it. We've seen it in Rome. We've seen it in Babylon. We've seen it in Egypt. I mean, this again, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a different time period, but it's the same thing. Different
Yeah.
time period, different technology, but it's still the same consequences and end result that's going to come from it.
Oh yeah.
At the time, Rome was considered one of the most technologically advanced of societies. So
Yeah. Until they
it
decide to spread their forces paper thin. And
exactly. And the same thing before them with Egypt. Egypt was considered one of the most technological advances. Before them, it was Greece. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is nothing new. That's what I'm saying. We get to sit and watch it,
yes,
as opposed to just reading about it.
that's going to be my point tonight. You have a front row seat into
Hmm.
understanding why Black America is where it is.
Hmm.
So you don't have to ask questions. You've already seen it through the manosphere in the different phrases of it.
Yeah,
You've seen it.
because
Yeah,
the only thing
yeah.
the only thing that's required now, if there was anything that was required, there's only one thing
Snacks
and
and
one thing.
drink.
Well, that's going to be a given. Popcorn, big screen in my house. But,
Yeah.
but the only thing that's really required right now is men of proper mindset to be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity, because there will be opportunity. Make no
Yep.
mistake.
Hmm.
Um, because any destruction of a society or empire, there's always opportunity. You just have to be prepared to take advantage of it. So those men, myself, you, Eisen, new other people, etc., and so on. We just need to be prepared for that, and as many of us as possible be prepared for it, because we're we have an opportunity to really put things back. Well, no, let me rephrase that. Not back, but an opportunity to do some level of correction.
Gotcha.
I think we lost MOT.
Yeah, we did. We did.
That's a great opportunity. And like I said, it doesn't have to be on a large scale, but if each of us maintains our immediate environment appropriately, regardless of where we are, New York, Texas, Florida, Indiana, whatever, um, we can do some effectual changes,
Yeah.
on a low scale, because we're never going to be able to do it on a larger scale, because we're just not in that level of positions of power in government and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But from a local perspective, that's how you really make changes
Gotcha.
and build from there. I mean, unless anyone disagrees with me, but But the most effectual stuff that's ever happened has been grassroots, local, yada yada. So if each of us who are maintaining properly, when that chaos kicks in, and we can formulate who's who, where's what, etc., and so on, we can come out of it looking pretty good when it's all said and done. And that's the game plan to me.
Right.
That's the best we can do at this stage. But yeah. So MOT stream's gonna be interesting tonight.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. That out.
Yeah. But we're going on 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm about I'm about to close it down. Yeah, it's been oh, he's back.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Some reason, man, like this phone updated and the screensaver, knocks the StreamYard off.
Gotcha.
Like, man, how come StreamYard just can't come out with a damn app? Jesus, man, it probably would solve all their issues.
They don't have one?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I mean, like, there is no going to the Play Store and downloading StreamYards.
Oh, I thought they were like
internet-based thing.
Nope. I thought they were like Zoom and Skype and all that. They had an app.
No. Oh no.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going on almost 2 hours. I'm getting ready to close it down. Man, it's been a great discussion. Been enjoyed having you guys on here. MOT, you got any last words?
All right, nothing, man. It's just that you cannot seek to want to be improperly rewarded, and once you realize that there's a proper way of going about things, a proper way, there's no really need to be jealous of anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you hear my last points when you dropped off?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But yeah. That's like I said, for me, that's the key. For those of us who are preparing properly, be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity because it will be there. He's going on at 10 o'clock new.
Yeah, 10 o'clock tonight Eastern.
Okay, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, 10. I'm sorry. Yeah, 10 o'clock Eastern. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, that's. But as far as it goes for me, any last words? It's the same as always. Men first.
Yeah. And then from me, hey, like I said, just be careful of these jealous folks. You got to separate from them and keep them away from keep them out of your life, and that's the only way to have that true peace, man. But that's all I got, and of course, we'll be here next weekend again, and like MOT said, he'll be doing his tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern, so y'all can tune in over there. And but hey, we're out. Peace.
All right, cool.